Hello, hello. Welcome to the day 2 of TP Open House 2022. So today for our live, we actually have School of Informatics and IT. So beside me, actually, I have a student host named...
I'm Andre Kang. I'm from the Diploma of Big Data and Analytics, and I'm in year 2.
Yeah, okay, so Andre, can you tell me a little bit more about School of IIT before we actually begin our tour?
Yeah, so there are a total of 6 different courses. IT, Cybersecurity, AI and Analytics, AI and something, sorry. Big Data and Analytics, Common ICT, and lastly, Game Design and Development.
That's very interesting, right? So I think out of my entire past poly experience, right, I've never really got in touch with School of IIT before. So I guess here today, Andre is actually going to bring me through the entire School of IIT as well as introducing us to a new center, right?
Alright. So the first stop we have is the AI Center. It's pretty newly built, and here on the right, we have a facial recognition software. It's able to identify your gender, your age, and whether you've been in here before. So your revisits.
Okay, let's test this out.
So it sees. You can come closer here and you can see that this is the teacher they identified in the past, Miss Shuyin. They identified her as age 28. I'm not sure if that's true. And gender female, and it even checks your emotion out. Alright. The next stop we have here is the autonomous vehicle. So its technology encompasses an inertia measurement software, a LiDAR detection, and cameras, as well as an onboard computer. So what all these does is it helps the autonomous vehicle to detect any obstacles in its way, for example, a pedestrian, and it will stop. Okay. So something else like a turning sign, like this. Sorry. Oh, like that. So it makes it turn. It's able to detect using its camera.
Okay, so I see here is the view of the autonomous vehicle, right? So this is actually what the autonomous vehicle sees on this screen over here. Is that right?
Yep. It's a live camera view.
Okay, so what I heard is anything that is smart and anything that is autonomous actually consists of AI technology. Is that
Correct.
Is this correct?
Correct. Artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. I see.
Alright, the next stop we're gonna check out is the scissors, paper, stone machine.
How
Right.
interesting. So, from what I see, it's just scissors, paper, stone. So why is there an AI tech actually involved in this?
What it actually is a machine learning it uses a machine learning algorithm to detect what you're putting out. So there's a camera here, and it can detect if it's stone, paper, or scissors. So how this works is you have to train the machine learning model with data sets. So it knows what this is, it knows what stone is, it knows what paper is, and scissors. They do it by feeding the machine learning algorithm pictures of different paper, stone, and scissors.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. How interesting is this? What a simple game, but
Yeah.
built into a machine learning kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what are other things that actually involve AI? Like maybe just some examples, like what are things in the real world that actually involves AI, but maybe as a passerby or just as somebody that does not know about AI, I didn't even know that AI exists. That kind of thing.
For example, this object recognition here is actually very similar to that. So what it does is it can differentiate the difference between a green apple, a red apple, or like a pear and orange.
Oh.
So I think what this does is, those kinds of Alibaba walk-in, walk-out supermarkets? Yeah, I think this is the kind of tech they use to identify what the consumers are taking off the shelves, so like they don't have to physically go to the counter and pay.
I see.
They can just walk out. Yeah.
I see. So actually, I heard this AI application center is new, right?
It's
So
very new.
it's going to be open up only in this year, 2022. So
Correct.
as a student here, you actually previously have never came here for any learning. It's just a showcase, is that right?
Yes, it's
So
only a
all these
showcase.
are projects by alumni?
Correct.
I see. Okay. Interesting. All right. So shall we move on to our next location, or is
Yep.
there any more interesting things here?
I don't think we have the time for that.
All right.
But
Okay.
this is very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
This is
It
very
really
interesting.
is. I think now there's a lot of like self-driving, autonomous vehicles, right? Is
Yep.
the technology used actually the same or similar or?
So what the lecturer, Dr. Hui told me was that I asked him about the difference between Tesla's AI and this AI. He said it's similar but different because one, Tesla has a lot of training. They train their AI a lot more than this, and there are different circumstances, different situations that will come into play. However, this tech is still relatively new, so you can expect a lot of breakdowns to happen.
I see, I see. Okay, that's very interesting. I think now, like, given to be in this like digital technology world, AI, smart technology, they are getting more and more popular, right? And School of IIT actually provides so many diplomas where students get to learn, all these technologies. So, what do you learn on your like, normal school days? What are like your core modules, or what skills do you acquire from your diploma?
From my diploma, Big Data and Analytics, we learn how to extract, transform, and load data, as well as how to model the data.
Model
So
the
create
data.
dashboards of analytics of different data sets and demographics. So we can better make more informed decisions for business understanding or
So do you have an idea, like, in big data analytics, what kind of like career prospects are you even looking at, like in the future and stuff?
data scientist, data analyst, business analyst, and big data is actually very generic. So you can go into basically any industry, tech industry, finance industry, medical industry.
Basically any industry that requires
any industry.
data. Lah,
Every
is that
industry requires data. Yes.
okay. So now we actually reached this AI and analytics hub. Can you give us like an overview of what actually we're going to be expecting here?
We're gonna be looking at the two courses in here. One is the big data analytics, and the other is informatics and technology.
All right, let's go. Okay, so I see we have came into this little tunnel where it kind of leads us to some classrooms. Is that classrooms that I'm looking at?
They do use these rooms as classrooms, yes.
Okay.
The first place we'll be looking at is the course of big data and analytics. And come in. Hi, Dr. Linda. Can you tell me more about this project?
Hello. So this project is actually developed by our year 3 students. So they are actually this is during their internship and major project. So in here, right, is actually a chatbot. The chatbot is it's to help students to ask questions about their subjects and so on. From that one, right, after the student, if we actually go through this one, so the student need to log in using their admin number, and then after that they can ask questions about the subjects lah. So this one is actually this one is actually using like NLP and then text minings and so on. Okay, and then in the end, right, so after all the data is already collected, so in the back end we can actually analyze the data. Maybe can show the dashboard. So these are the dashboards. So we can try to analyze the data. So we have like quite a lot of information in the dashboard that can be used by a lecturer to understand what kind of difficulties that the student have for that subject. So for example, if using the feedback, so we can actually see what are maybe some topics that they actually have some difficulties, and then the lecturer can also like try to review that topic in the class, or like review the topic maybe using like or LMS or something.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like a frequently asked question, so lecturers know.
Okay, so
which...
not just that one lah, because we actually in the back we actually have like some kind of a machine learning algorithms, and then that can actually try to find what are some of the key common things that the student asks, and then some other insights lah based on what the student asks.
I see. So kind of like a project like this, right? How long does it take to actually develop it out?
It's actually depend from a project to a project lah. For this one, I think so for our students, right, they usually attach in the companies during internship and major project for around 30 weeks.
30
so
weeks.
that during that 30 weeks, they actually help to develop this kind of projects lah.
I see. That's very interesting, actually. So I guess behind like a software like this, we see a lot of technology behind it, and this is what the students learn during their
Yes,
diploma.
correct. This is some things that the student will learn during their diploma in big data and analytics. So not just like all the machine learning algorithms and so on. They also will learn how to actually use or how to actually use their data and then visualize it. So that people, even though like a layman people, can also understand and get some insight from the data. So I think those some things that are now very is needed lah with the industry, because we have got quite a lot of data. But if you just have data but you don't know what kind of insight that you get from the data, that will be very difficult. So actually our students will have some skills to find out what kind of insight, and then they can try to they can actually develop a dashboard or like kind of like a dynamic visualizations that can help user to understand about the subjects about the insights lah. So
I see.
Yeah.
So I guess now since Andre is in big data analytics, right, and the COVID pandemic actually hit us quite badly. So how did Andre actually cope with this, like HBL? How did lecturers actually help you? So maybe just let us find out a little bit more on how this is.
This is actually very, very applicable. We had surveys of at the end of classes asking us, what do you find tough about this new topic? What do you find tough about this subject? And it was very useful. We were allowed to enter freely what we really had problems with, and I'm sure they used like this dashboard with the machine learning algorithms to decide which problem was faced the most with IIT students, and the teachers were able to then elaborate more on this topic that the students had trouble with in future lessons.
I see. How interesting is this?
Just to add, right? During the COVID, because of the maybe you have a HBL and so on, so maybe like you study maybe at night or like different timing lah than the lecturers. Then you can just find all the informations using this chatbot. So if you have like maybe you don't know something about the subjects, then it's like in the middle of the night. Even though you ask your lecturer, maybe they cannot respond right away. Then you can actually use the chatbot, because the chatbot will actually try to match. It's like using a text mining and NLP lah. So it's try to match your questions and then try to give a appropriate answer.
How interesting is this? Okay, thank you so much for giving us an overview. Thank you.
Dr. Lina. Bye.
So actually, I really didn't know that there was such, this kind of technologies that were involved in, just a normal chatbot, just a normal. We thought that matching questions to answers and stuff. We didn't know behind this was actually so much machine learning, algorithm, NLP. Was that right that I caught?
Yeah, all very chim
Technology terms and stuff.
When I first came into school, it was very daunting because I didn't understand any of it. But after a while, it got really interesting, and I'm sure if you would like to find out more, you will love it.
I see.
The next place we're going to visit is the Information Technology booth. Right. The project that we're going to take a look at is the Green Track project. And
So many people.
pass
for
it to our
today's-
student to talk more about it.
Hello. Hello. So we're from a diploma in information technology, and these are some of the major projects that we did for our final year. Right. So this is let's go back to the beginning. Yeah. So this is a Green Track mobile application that we did for our client. That's Green SG Collab. It's a non-profit, and they focus on environmental stuff. So here we created an application. So we wanted to educate people on like and sustainability and like the kind of efforts that's going on in Singapore. So you can find a lot of these information here, so people can learn. Beyond that, we also wanted to make your visits to the park more interactive and enjoyable, right? So in the application, you can find like various different parks and gardens that you can see across Singapore. So here, let me show you. So here you can see, here we can see the different parks that are available in Singapore, and you can select any of them when you're at them. Currently, there's several different ones that are available. So here we look, you can look at the like new national gardens. Jurong Lake Gardens is very well curated in the app. So you can see a number of different hand-curated trails are available in the app. So normally when you go to the park, you don't really know where to go. You're a bit confused. So this will take you through some of the really nice locations in the park, in the gardens, right?
That's very useful.
Yeah, you can also filter to make sure they're wheelchair accessible, or if there is any handrails available, right, for any accessibility needs. So you select any of the trails and you get to the map to guide you through the nice locations. Right here, you can see the different locations on the gardens itself. Right.
That's the trail that.
Yes.
Like, for example, if handicapped people want to take a trail, this would be like one of the trails that is accessible to them.
Yes, yes. So you can, in the previous screen, you can filter to make sure it's accessible for you.
All right, that's very, very thoughtful.
Yeah.
Really thoughtful.
Yeah, so these are some of the locations that are available in this particular trail. So you can scroll through them and you can, as you're going through the trail. And one of the things they wanted to emphasize on is to make sure this experience is interactive for you. So what you can do is while you're at these locations, you can scan the QR codes at the gardens. And by doing so, you can earn points, right? So here, well, this would be an actual QR code at the location itself, right? And you scan them, you can earn a point. So it says you've earned a point, right? And
Does it tell me more about the particular items that are there, like the flowers, fauna?
Yes, yes. So if there's any such information available, you can see them in this screen. So like the kind of animal life that is there, or like flowers, plants that are available there. And there's also fun quizzes you can answer about these about this location, and you can earn even more points by doing so. Right.
Is this available to all parks throughout Singapore or just Jurong?
Well, that's the goal, right? But as of now, there's a number, just only a number of gardens that are available.
I'm very certain you'll reach that goal soon.
Yeah. So yeah, once you complete the trail, you earn more points. And right now, there's nothing you can really do with the points itself. But in the future, they plan to
Vouchers? Would they use it for vouchers or like?
yeah, to actually exchange rewards with these points, right?
Ah, like Grab.
Yeah, I guess,
Okay.
but maybe not on that level. But,
Okay,
yeah.
that is very rewarding. I think that
Yes.
would be one alternative the Singapore government can use to encourage people to get out, go out more, explore nature parks.
Yeah, yeah. There's also achievements that you can earn.
Cute.
So here, you work like 5 kilometers, you earn an achievement. You complete a number of trails, you earn another achievement. Earn even more points, basically.
Okay.
So it encourages you to go to these parks and just be healthy, be fit. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for giving us this overview over here. Alright, so actually there's so many applications that you guys develop in School of IIT, and there are so many, everything is on the phone now, right? So
Correct.
it's such an interesting diploma to actually be in now in this age of this century, etc. Right?
It is definitely very sought after, yes.
Yeah. So I guess after you guys, I think back then, when I was deciding for which diploma should I take, I think it was never kind of part of my thought process, because who knew that at this day everything involves like just a handphone, everything is an application, everything is I just go to this app, I can do this, all the super apps and stuff. How interesting is this? How meaningful actually to even be in School of IIT at this point of time.
It is. It's
Okay, so I think there's one very interesting thing that definitely all students and parents want to know, is that School of IIT does not have any exams. Am I right or am I wrong?
you are correct, and you are 50-50.
Okay,
Because
so tell me
there are
about it.
tests, but they are not. The weightage for it are like 20%, So there's small tests to test whether you know your stuff. But the majority of the curriculum is just projects after projects, which encourages a lot of collaboration with your teammates. So it's very useful for the tech industry because in all the major software companies, you will have to work with a team.
Ah, I see, I see. So in all software companies, tech companies, you always see people working in teams. So there's no like individual
Nope.
projects and stuff. Ah, I see, I see. How interesting. Okay, so now we are actually going into the Serious Games Hub. But previously I heard you call it a different name.
It's actually called the Game Design and Development. Oh wait, it's called the Serious Games Hub, but inside we're going to showcase the Game Design Development
So this
diploma.
is actually used by Diploma in Game Design and Development.
Correct, yep.
So am I right to say this diploma actually does all all you do is develop games and games and games?
Yes and no, because there are some apps that they create that are they're not specifically for games,
Oh, I see, I see.
but it's yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not too
Oh,
sure.
here we see a gentleman in the hallway. Can you introduce
Mr. Malcolm.
us to...
We have Mr. Malcolm over here.
Hello.
Mr.
All
Malcolm.
right.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, come. Andre would actually like to ask you some questions about your diploma in game design and development.
Okay. What would you like to ask, sir?
Hi, Mr. Malcolm.
Hi.
I would like to ask, how would my diploma, Big Data and Analytics, work in cohesion with game design and development?
Okay, so big data, like many of the IT school diplomas, obviously wider field could go into video games. And so when we're playing a game, when we're developing a game, we're always looking at data. So that data could be something to do with multiplayer, and what we call a heat map, which would be when you spawn players and then multiplayers die, then you can show on the level design where they died. And then that would be something the big data would be able to show. And then from that we can decide whether a spawn point isn't very good, or if you need to defuse the bomb, or whatever our objectives are in that game, then we can move them around due to the big data.
Thank you, Mr. Malcolm.
Okay, I have a very, I would say, interesting question, or maybe like a myth that a lot of people would be interested to know about, which is, some people think like, as parents, like, oh, my children is in diploma in game design. Will this actually do them good in the future? Will they be spending like their next whole life just developing games? Is there anything you have to say about this?
So of course, parents are rightly worried about their offspring, and I don't think that's a problem. I think as far as video games, if people are interested in video games or cyber digital or big data, it's the same principle. Obviously, not everyone is interested in the same field. So I think the best thing to do is to make sure that they're in the right field. If it's big data, if it's cyber, if it's veterinarian or whatever diploma, if the student wants to be in that diploma, they will want to be in that diploma. So I think that's the important thing. Obviously, after that, going for a career path, then that's something else to take into account. And so when we're talking about video games, of course there's a great many different areas. It's not just, and then you'll work in video games. I think the important thing is that there's a big difference between playing games and developing games. And that's the big thing that we try and get across, especially for you guys. Make sure that they're making a good decision. But that's the same for all the diplomas. Make sure you're making a good decision that you want to be on that course.
I see. So it boils down all to interest, I would say.
Definitely. I think for video games, we have multiple disciplines. So you have programmers, and like all the other courses on IT, predominantly we are a programming course. So we do programming, but we also have the exposure to different other things. Those different other things will be the other disciplines within video games. So design, so that would be game design, that would be thinking about the mechanics, and how the game fits together, layout, etc., implementation, as well as artistic elements, and that would be the 3D aspects. So we do a couple of, we teach modeling, so that would be the 3D aspects. But obviously these are small compared to the whole course, which is predominantly programming.
I see. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Malcolm, for giving us this overview. Thank you for answering my question as well.
Have a good day.
All right, so now let's go. I think we have something very interesting coming up, right?
Yep. It's a virtual reality game using an Oculus headset. If you guys have heard about the metaverse, this is the metaverse.
The metaverse, as in the one that Facebook is going to become.
Correct.
So this is the metaverse. Very interesting. I want to know what this actually is.
Sorry, let me give you the
Just
I'll put it in front of you.
Thanks. Hi, so welcome to GDD. This is our VR section. So here you can experience a variety of VR activities in our carnival game. So right here, archery. I'll show you all you know what it is, but have you guys ever done it in VR? Allow me to give a demo. So as you can see, you can pull, draw, and shoot like this, like so. So that's how archery works in VR. So do you have any questions so far?
So this is actually developed by you guys, is that?
It was developed by our seniors actually.
Oh, by your seniors. All right. So what does Andre mean by this is the metaverse, may I know?
If I remember correctly, Mark Zuckerberg is aiming to create something similar to a virtual reality. Have you guys ever heard of Ready Player One?
Ready Player One.
You know the movie, the one where Steven Spielberg
No,
recently.
actually not me.
So it's basically like post-apocalyptic, where everybody's stuck inside a VR world, where stuff like that. So I'm guessing the so-called metaverse is something similar to that, where everybody is stuck in VR headsets with consumables made with products made with NFTs and other stuff like that. So in my opinion, what the metaverse is something similar to a virtual reality, something like this, but an actual virtual reality with its own market, with its own economy and such.
Oh, so in your diploma, you actually learned to develop even augmented reality games.
Correct. In our diploma, but only in year 3.
Only in year 3. So what do you guys do in year 1 and year 2, since year 3 is the only time when you learn like AR games?
Alright, so in year 1, it's general IT stuff. We learn to make websites, we learn different general programming languages like HTML, C++, CSS, Python, other such stuff. Only in year 2 do we actually start making real games. In fact, all of the year 2 students have made at least 2 games by this amount of time. So but not VR of course, cause in terms of difficulty, VR games are a lot harder. Only in year 3 do you actually start touching stuff like this.
Okay, actually I want to ask, can you actually see where I am, or?
Nope, I'm blind. I'm completely
So
blind.
you are fully into this AR game now.
Yes, I am stuck here.
Okay. Does it look 3D inside?
It shouldn't be so. Would you like to try?
Okay, sure.
Okay, give me a second. Sorry, I want this down to make sure that
Okay, sure. So this is actually fully 3D when you look into it, right?
Correct.
So it's kind of
This is
similar
view.
to, sometimes in malls we see there are those games, there are augmented reality. Is it something like this that you guys actually learn to develop? I mean they learn to develop. What do you think?
I would say it's similar. Of course, those games in the malls are mainly focused on games, but this is more focused on games as well, but education, I would suppose.
Education.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just take a look. I want to see whether it's really 3D inside actually.
I thought you would like to try. Shake.
Okay. I don't seem to see anything. Sure. Oh, I do. Okay. Yes, I do see. Oh,
Try walking around. In fact, try walking around.
Does it feel 3D?
yes, it does.
I'll let you know if you
Oh, I can't believe this is actually developed by a student actually. This is super amazing. Okay, so basically everything feels 3D inside here. So it's exactly what I saw in the screen just now. And it feels like I'm really in an amusement park. And looking down actually, it's the floor is legit. Everything seems legit. I'm really in this cartoon
separate world.
amusement world. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Do help me write this down. Thank you. All right. How amazing to learn augmented reality gaming in diploma. Just in diploma, you guys are developing these games that really involve augmented reality. I think being in school at IIT is something that I've never been in touch, really never, and it amazes me today that these are actually things done by diploma students, students that are learning to be all these HTML, JavaScript, all these are actually alien to me.
Actually, all students learn the exact same thing throughout all courses during their first year. So in year 1, all of us learn the same thing, HTML, CSS. Those are used to design and develop a website, and JavaScript to develop applications, and Python for Mainly, I use Python for data analytics.
Is that like coding languages?
Yup.
So actually being a student, let's say I'm a secondary 4 student, right? I'm planning to come into school of IIT. Will I be very overwhelmed by all these terminologies that, I really am not sure? Will I be overwhelmed? Should I be worried that, these are things that I really don't know what you're talking about?
No. I was overwhelmed, but you should not be. You just have to take the jump, and I promise it will work out.
Ah,
There's actually a course called Common ICT Program. It's a program where if you're not sure what to choose, you can head in that program, and you only have to choose your specification, like your specialization, like big data analytics or AI or GDD after the first year. So it's useful if you do not know which course you want to do throughout your years in Polytechnic.
so in the common core modules, from there, students will actually learn like all these terminologies that you're talking about. That's why everybody knows like this basic. Okay, is that what you're trying to say? Like students they form a core, a common module to build up their, what do you call it? Like basic knowledge of it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an introductory thing to all students. Equip all students with common language knowledge so they can further dive deeper into the different courses, specializations.
Okay, so now we are actually in this malware analysis center. Maybe tell me a little bit more about it first.
Right. This is the main hub for the Diploma of Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. So what this hub is it's run by students, for students. For those students who have malware on their laptops, they can actually come here and get it checked out and fixed by our very own TP students.
Oh, DP students.
Yeah.
These
Check
are,
it out.
so just now you said it's run by students for students.
Correct.
Right. Okay, come tell me a little bit more about it. What is for students, by students, for students? So do you mean if I'm a TP student, I can actually come here and fix my laptop if there is actually a malware problem?
Yes, for free.
For free.
For free.
Oh, for free. TP students, please.
Yes.
Note this down. All right, come. Let's find out a little bit more about this malware analysis.
This
center.
is Wan Lin over here. I'll be giving the mic over to her for her to elaborate more on this center and what's about.
Okay, so basically this center is set up like a learning enterprise. So where students can learn real-world knowledge and skills such as analytical thinking, logical thinking, and interpersonal skills, and also malware characteristics. So this center is in collaboration with the three partners: SD Engineering, Palo Alto Networks, and CrowdStrike. Yeah. So when the customer first come into the center, they will meet the support team first, where they will assist the customer's queries and also handle the case to the Tier 1 analyst. So let's head into the center. So over here, this is where the Tier 1 analyst will be seated at. So they will be handling the malware scan and detection. And then at the back of the center is where the Tier 2 analysts will be seated at. So is where they will conduct further investigation on the escalated cases and also the removal of the malware. And then over here is the security manager, where he or she will oversee the whole operation. So yeah, that's all.
Wan Lin, may I ask you a question? Let's say I am a student with malware on my laptop and it's corrupted my entire laptop. Can you run me through the process of how you will go about fixing it?
Okay, so firstly, the Tier 1 analyst will install a program called Cortex XDR from Palo Alto Networks to perform a malware scan on the device. So if there's a malicious files being detected, the Tier 1 analyst will see whether the file is a legit malware or is it a false positive. If it's a false positive, we will stop the case over there and tell the findings and share the findings with the customers. However, if the malicious file being scanned is detected as a really malicious malware, we will escalate the case to the Tier 2 analyst, where they will actually conduct further investigation. and then they will also perform the removal of the malware from the customer's device. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, that's quite reliable.
yeah,
I would trust my laptop with you guys.
yeah, of course. You all can trust the laptop with us, yes.
I'd like to know how classes are conducted here.
Classes?
Yeah. For Diploma of Cybersecurity.
In year 1, everyone will take the same class and same modules. Then in year 2, it will dive deeper into cybersecurity and digital forensics module like forensics, digital forensics, and also network security and ethical hacking. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Anlin. We'll move on to the next room.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So, next room we're going to visit is the digital forensics room. And we'll see something very interesting.
Digital forensics room.
There's going to be ethical hacking.
Ethical hacking. What does it mean by ethical hacking? Hacking is hacking. Hacking
Yeah.
always seems bad. So what is ethical hacking?
I believe there are different types of hackers called like black hats, white hats, and grey hats. So white hats are the good ones. Black hats are, I think, the bad ones. Right.
Ah,
So
alright.
ethical hacking would be probably searching if people's Google accounts have been compromised and letting the person know, whereas black hats hackers would be doing something malicious with your information. Yeah.
Which is where all those ransomware, cyber threats, these are the bad ones, right? Though these
Correct.
are what you call the black hats.
Correct.
I see. Hello. Hi. So can you show us a bit about what this is about?
Yeah, so this is basically a website where there you can see the username, and I do not know any the password at all. So if I now type, I won't be able to get in. But if I use something like a brute forcing method,
Okay, so this is just a random website where you are trying to log. I mean, you do not know their password.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to hack their account.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. So now this is a software that you are going to find out their password.
yeah, so it's basically a script for it. So if I enter it, you can see that you try a lot of different type of words, and once you find the password, you just put it right here.
Oh.
So H Franco Undertaker. So if I go back here and I type in the username again, and then the password, I'll be able to log in.
Oh, how interesting. So you actually managed to hack this person's account
Yeah.
by using a. So should I be worried that next time anybody that knows, or even they don't know my account, right? They can actually hack inside. Should
no.
I actually be worried about it? So what can we do about it?
Use a more complex password than this.
Oh,
And usually the website should have safeguards for it.
safeguards. So can I say if I use a more compressed password, it will be harder for them to actually go into to access my account.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
I think if you use a more complex password, it will be harder for this method to hack into your account. So this brute force method is basically trying out many different types of passwords and trying to find what your password is. Yeah.
So it's like they will try very simple passwords like
Trial and
123
error.
456,
Correct, yeah.
ABCDEFG, that kind of thing. So this software actually does this.
Correct, yeah. But I think one way to combat brute force method would be to use two-factor authentication.
Oh, okay.
So it confirms that you are actually logging in to your account through another application like an authenticator app or your email.
I see. Okay. That's something I actually didn't know about as well. So this is what we call the hacker's playground. Just now when we saw this thing. Okay, so now we are going to... The next one is...
Smart Alexa Planter.
Oh, Smart Alexa Planter. Hi, can you let us know about what your booth is actually about?
So basically, we are testing out how IoT devices can be compromised easily. Right? Because right now, the trigger words are very simple to say, which is Echo, turn on water planter now. So it will just turn on water and anybody can say that phrase. So I'll just turn off. Echo, turn off water planter now. Okay, so right now it's stopped off because of the moisture sensor. So if I gently move the moisture sensor, Oh, it's okay because I turned off. So maybe you can say it also. So it's echo.
Echo, turn off water planter now.
So it's already turned off. Okay, so it's turned. So say it instead of off, say on.
So now I say on.
Yeah.
Echo, turn on water planter now. Oh.
And then because of the moisture sensor encoding, it will stop. So inside the box contains an Arduino Uno and a Wi-Fi module. The Wi-Fi module is considered as a switch to turn on the entire system. The Arduino is like a heart of the system, where we put codings for the LCD screen, where we have the moisture level readings and also the water level readings. Yeah.
I see. So you guys actually learned this during your classes, or did you develop this for one of a project?
This was more, we had to learn about this coding all during the project. We didn't really learn about like all this coding for Arduino, so we had to self-learn ourselves during this project that we had to do for like about 3 months.
But the lecturers did help you, right?
Somewhat. Somewhat. We had to self-learn a lot of things here, like such as like soldering the LCD screens and the pins. So we had to self-learn all the coding stuff.
Oh, you guys have to learn like solderings and stuff as well.
Yeah, because for this thing, because we had to do the wiring stuff. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so being in diploma in cybersecurity and digital forensics, what do you think after poly, what are you going to be, or what do you plan to be in the future?
Well, I plan to just try to at least help out people at least like, in terms of cybersecurity. Try to make sure everybody's well versed in this. Try to keep themselves not have such a big digital footprint in the internet. Because if you like post yourself so much in the social media, you are increasing your social digital footprint. And when people do such things such as social engineering, they can maybe hack you because of like your past experience, your holidays. They can probably know like your experiences of how you got your password. So like from like you sharing your hobbies and all the things that you share on social media, that can maybe be used against you to like hack against you. So that's called as spear phishing. Phishing is normally like they just send you an email and will make you. It's like a fake email and will like make you think like, oh, you want something or you got hacked. But spear phishing is like more directed towards a person that they really want to target, and like it will probably give them like much more incentives into getting like rewards such as like spear phishing. They can hack to like big companies like CEOs and stuff. They can really get like good sensitive information from them. Yeah.
Oh, very, very meaningful what you're trying to do. Do you guys hear that? You need to reduce your digital footprint so that you don't get hacked easily. I never knew this was actually linked to each other. Being, let's say if I'm an influencer, I post myself every day, then it increases my chances of being hacked as a cyber risk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is why earlier, like he said, two-factor authentication, maybe even three-factor authentication, or multi-factor authentication.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it reduces the chances of you being hacked, and it's better to like not use your same old passwords always, and like put in some extra things in your old password.
How about for Alexa? Like, it can be easily manipulated. Like, I've seen videos on Twitch, like, the streamers can actually talk in the voice chat.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you know those? Like, they can actually activate
the Alexa. They will make you people pay buy like 300 iPhones, all sorts of.
or like the
crazy
address.
stuff. Yes.
So that's quite dangerous.
Yeah,
That's
very
doxing the
dangerous
person.
because
Yeah.
you also at the same time people can just buy things from your own credit card from just activating from your Alexa. Yes.
So how do you combat that?
Set up voice profiles for Alexa and not to put like any random voice. So for Alexa right here, you can set up voice profiles so only certain people can activate the Alexa.
So it can detect like who's talking.
Speaking, yes.
Oh, I see. Nice.
Okay, so how being in this cybersecurity and digital forensic, right? How is your final year project actually like? Being in this
What do you mean?
like final year project, right? How are your final year projects like? What kind of final year projects do you guys actually have? Like, do you create something like this as a final year project, or is there something else that you guys actually do?
This was. The topics was given very different randomly to other people. Like one of them, those are different projects we were given. I was just given this project, so I can't really say much. But I would say all the final projects I say is very, very unique, and it helps like a lot of people to like learn new things. Some of them you will have to like create surveys to like not get hacked and stuff, and all those stuff, which like helps you in be more aware of your digital presence. Yeah.
Can I say like your final year project is actually very industry relevant? Like you will actually be using this when you go out and work, that kind of thing.
I guess yeah, somewhat it helps you like learn like what you might need to do. You might need to learn extra things, such as internship also. Even though my internship is like a bit more different from what I learned, it gives me more exposure into like the work culture and all the things I like should learn when I'm inside the working world. Yes.
I see, I see. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for letting us know about everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I think he mentioned that every project is unique in its own way, and I think that's good because it allows students to tap into their creativity, to go out and venture and find what they're interested in and actually work on it. So this provides the platform for them to do that.
I see, I see. Cybersecurity and forensic. Okay, so do you guys, collaborate a lot with different diplomas to actually, work on projects and stuff?
Yeah, we have this collaboration between engineering school and the School of IT to do some data analytics, to do some data mining. It's pretty relevant for both schools, so that's why they can collaborate together.
Okay, so now maybe just a few more questions. Right, so a bit more personal questions lah.
Alright.
So since I understand that you are actually in swimming, you are actually also in the IIT Studies Club.
Yeah.
So how do you juggle between so many things and school?
Planning my day out. Having a calendar on my phone is pretty useful. I can key in what I have planned for the day, as well as having friends. Like my friends help me keep track of my studies, and I think it's very balanced because you can't just study all the time. You need like outdoor activity. Contrary to belief, if you think just focusing mainly on studies is very it won't do you as much good as compared to focusing on a broad spectrum of things, because you have to develop other parts of your life as well.
So, how does what do you expect in IIT Studies Club? Being in a studies club, what does it mean to be in a studies club?
Planning events, giving back to school, and creating new friendships and bonding.
I see, I see. So what kind of events have you planned? Like, you are year 2 now, right?
Correct.
So what events have you planned since that? Do you join since year 1 or do you only join year 2?
I joined this year.
Oh, you joined this year. So up to now, is there anything that you've actually planned up?
Well, we can head up and I can show you more.
Oh, sure.
Or if you take a look at the left side,
Oh.
that's our IIT SC's canteen. It's called ITAS. Most people know it as ITAS, yeah. And it's the only canteen in the school that is fully air conditioned. That's why people from other schools really like to come in here to enjoy the cooling air conditioning.
Especially on the hot weather like today, right?
Especially, yes.
Okay. Is there any good food here that you especially love?
I like the chicken. Most students come here for the chicken rice, the nasi lemak shop, or the Thai cuisine. But unfortunately, the Thai shop is closed.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So are we heading up to actually see?
Yeah.
Or?
Going back to your question previously, one event that I've planned today is that I'm a part of. Is the open house. So together with a few other main comm people, we organized the main house for today, and we are we are in charge of just making sure everything runs smoothly, adapting to different circumstances. For example, having enough spaces for people, because we're only allowed to have 40 people maximum in the school at any one time. So we have to. Oh, it's so hard.
Okay, so you guys have to actually plan it properly by appointment basis.
Correct.
Because of this COVID thing. Because open house is actually done on a hybrid basis this year.
Yeah.
I see.
All the restrictions make it very hard to plan these kind of events.
But you guys
live
did well.
events.
I see there's a lot of, do you call it eye guides?
Eye guides, yeah.
Eye guides.
How do you know that?
I was a TV, I was called Biz Guide last time.
Okay.
Okay, so eye guides are bringing groups of families, actually just touring around, going through all the booths
Correct.
that we saw just now.
Correct.
I
Like
think
what
it was
we did.
very well planned.
Like
Yeah,
what
I think it was very well planned, for a school of IIT. They
We did our
actually
best.
Yeah. It's actually properly safe distance, and they are actually in groups of less than 5.
Correct. We have to group all the visitors into 4s and group them with one tour guide. So that is a maximum of 5 per group. And each booth can fit roughly, it depends on the size, but most of them can fit at least 2 groups. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so we are actually going to see, what's the next thing that we're actually going to see now, since we're actually walking towards?
I can show you the outer part, the main part of the school,
Okay.
of like the other schools and just campus life. Right. So if you look ahead, this is like the main area where all students from every single school will, I guess, conjoin or meet, or like cross
School of
paths.
IIT is located at the left side,
Correct.
all the way to the left.
Left side, over there you see like this is the overhead bridge, and it connects to bus stops. This is like the main gate kinda, and students will enter through there. And so the School of IIT is over here, all the way on the left.
All the way on the left.
Yep.
So here we are at School of IIT.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So before we actually end this live, right, can I ask you, like, being in School of IIT, I believe there are the stress involved. I believe there are amazing projects, amazing friends. Have you ever felt like at any point of time, I really want to give up, I can't do this anymore? How it's so difficult, big data, what is this JavaScript, this kind of thing. Have you ever felt like that before?
Yes, it gets very confusing, but that's basically every other course. But-
Is it fulfilling for you up till now?
Very, 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 very fulfilling. I am very happy with Temasek Poly. If I could give you like my personal opinion, I've tried out when I was Sec 4, I've tried out going to the different open houses for the other polytechnics, and I find that, in my personal opinion, I find that TP is just very, very warm and welcoming, and I just instantly connected to this place. Yeah.
I really agree with you on this. I think students of Temasek Poly is actually very close-knitted. So I don't think they segregate based on like, I am School of IIT, my friends are only in School of IIT. I am School of Business, I am only with School of Business. I don't think there's such thing over here. So in TP, everybody is friends with each other, in fact, right? So
Yeah.
even you yourself, maybe your good friends actually in School of Engineering, School of Design.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
And even if I don't have friends there, I can always make friends there through CCAs or, walking past each other, just say hi.
That's very good to hear. Alright, so thank you very much, Andre, for actually bringing us along the tour of School of IIT. Alright, so thank you very much for joining us on the day 2 of TP Open House 2022. Alright, with this, we end the live of School of IIT here. Bye-bye!
Bye.